Welcome back. Corruption is the talking point in the country at the moment, from tenders to political infighting and permit schemes. There seems to be no end to the scourge. The ANC's NEC has been meeting to discuss the granting of tenders to government officials and their loved ones. eNCA's political editor Vuyo Mvoko is joining us to talk more about the outcomes of that ANC NEC meeting. And Vuyo, one of the top lines from that statement released by the ANC this afternoon is that the party is drawing the line, which means what exactly?
Well, 3 sentences into the statement, you're met with these words. The ANC took decisions on fighting corruption, close quotes. But then you go through the entire 5 pages that are that statement, and one finds no evidence of that beyond words like outraged and deeply embarrassed, words like these developments cause us collectively to dip our heads in shame and to humble ourselves before the people. But that's about it. That's about all that you get from the statement, about the promise that they make right at the beginning of that statement, that they have taken decisions on corruption.
What's missing from that statement, Vuyo, is the action. What is the ANC going to do about these issues? Because that's what South Africans have been asking since news, for example, around the Royal Baga contract emerged some 3 weeks ago already.
Well, they're asking you and me to report corruption to state law enforcement agencies. They are praising the ANC president for asking South Africans to do exactly that, but also for asking state law enforcement agencies to speed up the investigations that are going on into corruption across the spheres of government. But then the interesting thing, or what you ask, is the fact of the matter is that as leaders of society and as people who are in government across the spheres, many ANC leaders do know the people who are corrupt. But it would seem that they are only interested in using that information to fight their own political battles, to take swipes at each other at those meetings, and to blackmail one another. But that information hardly filters through to state law enforcement agencies so that something can be done about the people that many ANC leaders know are in fact corrupt.
Apart from that, then, the other issue that was on the table going into this NEC gathering was about what to do with the 2021 local government elections. Some saying, well, let's have one joint election in 2024 and, in fact, possibly keep that as the standard procedure going forward.
Well, the ANC, went into this meeting, as you point out, with a proposal, or having mooted the idea of a unified election that will mean that we'll vote for your local, provincial and national leaders at the same time, which may also mean postponing the oncoming election. Now, it wants to canvass the views of other political parties on this, but also, from what I've been able to, the little I've been able to gather, have a full appreciation of the implications, financial, logistical and otherwise, of that decision. So they have then decided not to look at the matter fully at the meeting they held at the weekend, but to have a special National Executive Committee meeting within the next 2 weeks.
One of the other things that are highlighted from this statement as having come up for discussion is the passing of the late ANC stalwart Andrew Mlangeni. Just last week, we had Fikile Mbalula, an NEC member, as well as the party spokesperson Pule Mabe, insisting that there was no violation of lockdown rules by the ANC when Mlangeni's remains were taken to Dube, Soweto. Is that still the consensus now that the NEC has met?
And in spite of the fact that we all saw the pictures, we all saw what happened there, well, the ANC has decided to make and about 10. To quote very briefly from what they say in the statement, the ANC regrets and apologizes for the incident on the 28th of July when, during the arrival of the cortege at the home, difficulties arose with maintaining social distance and keeping the numbers down. So you'll be happy to know that everything that Pulemabe told you last week falls by the wayside.
It was a rather memorable discussion, wasn't it? eNCA political editor Vuyo Mvoko there speaking to us on the outcomes of the ANC's NEC meeting.